Testing, testing. Let's see how this microphone works. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Ali. I'm a board certified physician assistant in the state of California. I've been practicing for about 2 years now, and in this video, I wanted to talk about how I secured my first job in neurosurgery as a physician assistant and exactly what I did in my first job and how much I made. I think that it's important to be transparent. I think that new grads can be easily taken advantage of. So the more these types of videos are out there, maybe someone will find it helpful. So let's start with clinical year. So I remember when I finished the didactic year of PA school, which is the first year, I had no idea what specialty I wanted to go into. I knew some of the things that I didn't want to do, but so luckily our school allowed us to do two electives. Now, like I said, I had no idea what I was going to do. So I picked cardiology and neurology. As you could tell, I picked the ones that are like the biggest sections in pants, so that at the very least they can help me study for the pants. But I also picked them because I feel like if you have a good basis in these rotations, it's very helpful. But that's not what actually ended up happening. My school, out of nowhere, booked me for neurosurgery and cardiothoracic surgery. And, obviously, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't know surgery was going to be the thing that I end up going into. But it ended up playing perfectly for me because I ended up having general surgery rotation. My GYN rotation was mostly surgical, and I ended up having two neurosurgery rotations because the cardiothoracic surgery ended up falling through. So I ended up having four surgical rotations in total. And now you can imagine my resume, right? Most people just have one surgery rotations. Here I am coming in with my four surgical rotations. On the outside, it looks like I planned it all out, but no, it was just fate. But it ended up working really well because I enjoyed surgery. I picked up some great skills in surgery. What I really liked about surgery was how there are different components. Like you see the patients some days in the clinic, and the other days you're operating. Some days you're on call, some days you're rounding. So it kind of like makes you practice to the top of your license, and like you're kind of in all the settings, and it doesn't get boring. Um, Anyways, so about 3 months before I graduated, I started applying to a lot of jobs through Indeed and LinkedIn. I was not doing any cover letters. I was literally spamming my resume to every single job I saw in California because that's where I wanted to work, near where I live. And this way, like I wasn't wasting a lot of time because I had to study a lot, but I was also getting myself out there. And at the very least, when you spam your resume like that, the recruiters end up getting a hold of your resume, and then they kind of like call you and start working for you, and because they make money by placing you, and you're not the one that's like giving them the money. They make money out like from the person that employs you. But anyways, I'm getting distracted. And the other thing I did was on LinkedIn. LinkedIn at the time, and I'm sure it's even now, was having a free trial of premium for a month. So what I did was no, I didn't pay. I used my free trial for that month, and I put my resume on LinkedIn, and I was applying to jobs there. But it also, when you have premium, it kind of pushes you out. So those two things were extremely helpful. Um, I got a call from one recruiter who was recruiting for the job that I eventually ended up going into, which was neurosurgery. So what happened was she called me. She kind of asked me what I wanted to do, where I wanted to live, things like that. And then she ended up passing that information to the doctor that ended up employing me. And so he gave me a call. We had a great conversation, and he saw my resume. He saw my interest in surgery, which now I have a lot of interest in surgery because that's a lot of what I do. And so we we ended up talking on the phone, going back and forth, and I ended up getting the job offer and eventually accepting the position 2 months before I even graduated. Now, when it comes to graduation, to be able to work as soon as possible, there's like some things you can do. One of those things is to get the state board application started about a month before you graduate, because it takes about a month for them to process it. And what I did was, I started my application, I submitted all the aspects of it. So the only thing that was left was my PANCE scores to go in. And once I took the pants, it took about a week for the scores to come out, and about a week after that, my California license. Uh, it wasn't even a week; maybe it was like 4 or 5 days. But I got my California license. Then I applied for the DEA, which took another 4 or 5 days. It was very quick, and I ended up. So I took the pants on October 26th or 28th. I don't remember exactly, and I started working at the job November 15th. Um, the hospital credentialing takes a little while. So what I was doing was for 15 days in November, I was in the clinic, shadowing, kind of picking things up, learning things, seeing what the most common things are. And then on December 1st, I was officially official. The hospital credentialing had been done, and I was, able to kind of go into the hospital, do clinic work, everything. Um, I got super lucky in my first job because I had a really good mentor in my supervising physician who showed me the ropes, was always kind of in the background, but also gave me enough autonomy to kind of learn on my own, make my own decisions, and build my skills as as a PA. So now let's talk about what this job was like, okay? So this job had everything, from 2 days in the OR every single week to one day in the clinic by myself, seeing my own patients, and one day in the clinic with the supervising physician. We would tag team patients. So what I would do is I would do the HBI and the physical exam, and I would give the report to him, and then he would kind of do the assessment and plan. And this would actually really help me as a new clinician because I could see what the surgeon who's been practicing for so much time does for the patients when they come in for specific symptoms. So that was a great day. And so, like I said, those were my 4 days. I had Friday, Saturday, Sundays off, which was great. And then I had 1 week of call about every 5 weeks, which was brutal because it was 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. From Friday to Friday. So I had to be there at 6 a.m. And sometimes, like if we were operating, and let's say the operation started at 5 p.m., I would be there till like 11 p.m. and things like that. So it was a lot of work and during that week, and a lot of work in general because in a new job you have to study so that you can provide the best care for your patients. But all in all, it was an amazing first job, and um, I enjoyed it very, very much. I still do it part time, so that should show you how much I love this job. And the salary, as a new grad PA, my salary was pretty high, honestly. Maybe not anymore because of inflation and things like that. But 2 years ago, I remember when all my friends in PA school were applying, they would all get offered around, I believe, like 120-ish was like kind of normal. But my starting salary, my first year as a new grad, was 150. I got some bonus to start. Wasn't much. It was like I believe like less than 5,000, let's say. And then at the end of the year, I got another bonus, which was about 10K. So I ended up making about like 160 to 165 my first year, which was really good. And honestly, the first year, it's not about the money. It's more about the learning and the foundation and the supervising physician and the quality of your life. And the money will come once you have a good foundation, man. Like there's so much money, you can make a lot of money, but the first year really is for foundation. Oh yeah, one other thing that I forgot to mention about this job was also that while I was in the hospital, I was rounding. on patients. And when we were taking call, I would see like new consoles in the emergency department, and come up with the preliminary plan, and then discuss with the supervising physician, come up with a more definitive plan. And this also really helped me in my decision making skills as a new PA. Eventually, I got to a point where I was making the right plans all the time, and I'd learned enough to know how to manage patients well. So that worked out really well. So yeah, that's it. That kind of wraps up the video pretty well. And I just wanted to give you guys an example of or like an example of a timeline of how long it takes to get the first job, what kind of money to expect, what to look out for. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video, and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care. Bye.